So, as you know, today it's already the 8th Lego Braille Bricks webinar, and it will be about Braille character. So, some of you already know us, but not everybody. So, just for those of you who haven't been there before, I am Mark, and that's Marie.
Welcome.
And we are Braille consultant for the Lego Foundation, and we are in charge of writing and implementing the Lego Braille Brick pedagogical concepts. Tonight or today, because it's dark outside, that's why I say tonight. It depends where you are. But in fact, we are going to see two activities. One is called musical letters, and then I will present another activity that it's called the bullpen. So as you know, we are going to watch short videos of children making activities, and we will make comments. So tonight the activity will be about character, Braille character, and just for you to know what we mean by Braille, because we have made a separation between pre-Braille and Braille. And in Braille character, it's really to recognize the spatial organization of the Braille cell. That is to say, identify letters, identify numbers, identify math symbols and punctuation sign also. But not just it, also develop creative abilities and also learning different patterns and finger sensibility to be able to read what is on the brick and also to track a line correctly. So we are going to see what on the website where you can find the activity we are talking about. So that's yeah, we can say very easy. We have to go to activity straight away, and then it leads us to the pre-Braille and Braille activity. So today it will be about Braille activity. So we have character, literacy and numeracy. And today it will be about character. So that's learn Braille letters, numbers, math symbol and punctuation signs, and know how to read and write them. So you find 15 activities. We are not going to speak about all those activities, of course, but you had some of them that are about letters, like guess the first letters, some about numbers, like domino cross, and some are using additional tools like egg box numbers. And we are going to start today with musical letters. So it's another way to do music and to use the bricks. And Mary will present this activity to you.
Okay, so musical letters. So it is recognize letter bricks and make their sound, track a row and sing a rhythm to match the pattern that is found. So we are starting tracking rows, so tracking skills are very important in the Braille reading process. Once again, you will need to prepare this activity 1 base plate, 10 letter bricks from A to J, 10 classic Lego bricks. It's really better if you have the 2x4 classic Lego bricks, you know, the one which has the same size as the Lego Braille bricks, and 1 ball. And then you will align 11 bricks across the top of the base plate, so make a big line, alternating classic and Braille bricks and leaving a space between each of them. So you will place the other bricks in the bowl. So maybe we can take a few minutes, but first I can show you, Mark already did that preparation.
Yeah.
And he wanted to simplify and to do an exercise especially for a kid with dyslexia. So he chose purple classic bricks, and then the red, I think it was the letter S, and the blue were letter X. So you will see that it is something between the sound S and X. Okay, so we can maybe just have a look at it. Yes, so he is showing the different kind of bricks, and he is just attaching two classic bricks, then a letter S, a letter X, and we go straight to the end, and we have a full line of different bricks among classic, letter X, letter S, and a row of separation between them. So maybe now it can be, your turn to do it and to prepare. I think I can give you a few seconds or minutes just to do that. Your line of
To make
bricks.
a row? Yeah.
Yes. With classic and Braille bricks. And if you don't have them, maybe you can write something on a piece of paper with a blank for the classic bricks and the letter for the Braille bricks. I'm just waiting for Mark to... Okay, Mark, are you ready?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay, can we see it? Maybe I'm going to stop. Then you will, what is the activity about? You will track the line of bricks with your index fingers. You will pronounce each letter as you touch it, and you will make a beatbox sound like bing or bang for each brick that is not a letter. Are you ready?
I am.
So it's your turn to play. Mark?
You want me to read what is
Yes,
on my line?
I would like to.
So with Bing, we can say Bing, D, Bing, I, Bing, I, D, Bing, D, I, Bing.
Great.
That's not
Good
that
job,
easy.
Mark.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I think it will be much nicer to look at Fadi playing this game. So just to remind you, if you don't remember, he has this funny hat because it was his birthday. He just turned 8 these days, so that's why he wanted to keep it. And as I said, you will hear that he has some trouble issues with dyslexia, so that's in purpose that you chose the letter S and the letter X. Okay.
Alors, ce qu'il faut savoir, c'est que tu as des briques. Je te montre celles-là, qui sont des briques de Lego normal. Et certaines briques, regarde, là, tu as des briques Braille. Et ça, c'est écrit quelle lettre?
S.
Donc ça fait quel son le S?
Basse.
Très bien. Et si je te donne maintenant celle-là,
X.
donc quel son ça fait?
Bah.
Très bien. Donc maintenant, tu vas devoir lire comme si c'était de la musique. Dès que c'est une brique normale, tu dois dire bing. Dès que c'est un S, tu dois dire S. Dès que c'est un X, X. Et tu lis tout jusqu'au tout au bout de la ligne.
Mais les trucs normaux.
Bing.
Bing, bing, x. Bing, bing, bing. X. S. S. Bing. Wix. S.
Super.
His friends were happy for him. So you can hear that he has some trouble distinguish the sound of the letter X between the S, not reading them. And I think that's quite interesting to see how he reads the brick with his two fingers, left fingers, because he has a special technique. It was not the first game for him, so you can see that with only his two fingers, he doesn't have to move a lot, just one touch, and he quickly can read the entire Braille cell. So I'm sure that for him, this jumbo Braille is not a trouble. Okay.
Alors, ce qu'il faut savoir.
Yep. So, you can, of course, do several attempts for that exercise, change the letter, change the organization of the row between the classic bricks and so on. So you can have several activities, but it is written 20 minutes because we hope that you will have time also for facilitation tips and possible variations. So we can just have a look at them. For example, the first facilitation tips is ask how can you tell the difference between letters and the other bricks. That can be interesting for them to express how they recognize that it is a letter or it is a classic brick. Then you have suggest, imagine and sing a song or a rhythm, because here it was a bit box, but maybe he wants to sing something, to imagine something else than big, another sound. So that's how they want. And also suggest tell a story in relation to your song. So that's different kind of tips. You can have a lot more and imagine your own. And then we go to the possible variation. Of course, we can change, as I said, the number of letters, of rows, of spaces, columns. You can change the pattern, the rhythm, and you can also, that's what we're going to see, encourage personal creation of musical compositions. So it is really great if they can make a row for you or for them to read it, but they will have to deal with their imagination, with creative skills, to start to write an exercise themselves. So that's what Loris is about to do right now.
Tu vas maintenant, toi, devoir faire ton morceau de musique
Oui.
en plaçant les briques dans l'ordre que tu veux sur la plaque, en mélangeant les hauts, les X et les normales.
Ok.
C'est parti. Qu'on puisse la lire. Pour vérifier est-ce que celle-là est bien dans le bon ordre. Je ne fais pas à l'envers. Alors, on va à l'endroit. Parfait.
Okay. So I'm sure you noticed a huge difference between what Mark did and what Loris did. He just attached the bricks but very close to each other without the space between them. So that's really interesting. It's easier for him to write like that, but it will be much more difficult to read. Okay, so I'm sure we will talk about that a little bit later. And also one thing that can have been, we could have done differently, it has 3 different kind of bricks, so maybe it would have been nice to put them in 3 different bowls, for example. So one bowl for the classic bricks, one bowl for the letter O, and one bowl for the other. Or you can also imagine that you use storage base plate, and then you store the bricks on it with alphabetical tower or tower of classic bricks. So that will be helpful for him, I think. Yeah, so that's the what Mark and Loris decided to do. So Loris created a line, and then he will read it, but with Mark's idea on how to deal with the sound of them. So
Donc maintenant, tu vas devoir nous lire ton morceau, mais attention, quand c'est une brique normale, tu vas devoir taper dans les mains.
Ok.
Quand c'est un X, tu dis X.
Oui.
Quand c'est un O, tu dis O. C'est parti!
X. X. O. X. O. O. X. O.
Parfait.
Okay, so just a few words to say that we think this exercise was very difficult for him, but for everyone, because of the clap he has to make. So he has to leave to stop touching the bricks to make a movement and then go back to the bricks he was reading and go to the other one. So that's really difficult, and he had to, it's a very good exercise of what we call proprioception and also kinesthesia. So maybe we can just have a look at the next slide. So I was just talking about proprioception. So it is the perception and awareness of the body position. So that's how your body is aware of where each part of him is. So that's how I know where I stand and how to walk, even if I don't have the help of the sight. And another one is the kinesthesia. That's the perception and awareness of the body movement. So he has to work with those two kind of skills to be able to remember where his hands were when he read the last brick before the clap, and then go back to there. So it's easy when you have the sight, because you have a lot of coordination between your sight and your touch, your hands. But here we only use the hands, so you have really to remember and to deal with proprioception and kinesthesia, and that's a good exercise, I think. But for children maybe older or this age, it can be difficult for youngest children. Okay, so we've seen that we worked with different skills, the proprioception skills, that sense, I must say, but also with a lot of others. So we had a full holistic panel of skills. So you will find a creative, an emotional, a social, a cognitive, and a physical skills here. Of course, as I always say, many more of them, but we can see the first, the creative skill is imagine graphic representation to organize a succession of sounds and sound events. So that's really great, because we can work on also with auditory skills, not only tactile here. We have an emotional skill, develop an interest in art, work of art. So you can see on their face that they were happy to practice these activities. We saw a lot of smiles. We have a social skill here, because it is with an adult, but it can be also with peer. A cognitive skill. Here we wrote something about Braille reading. That's important for us, because we have here the tactile skills, so that's great. And also, of course, physical skills, because we are working with auditory awareness skills, despite of many others. So, and last, it is the did you know. So here you have two different did you knows. The first one about creative activities, so that just for many of you are reminders of what it is, creative activities. So it is coming up with ideas, expressing them, and transforming them into reality by creating associations, symbolizing and representing ideas. So here it is really between the character, the letter, and its sounds and things like that. So, and the last did you know is teachers can create learning environments that empower young children to realize their potential. And that's really something in which we believe. Okay, I hope the internet connection is okay for you right now and that we will be able to play with the bullpen.
Yeah, to go to the second activity today. So the name of this activity is the bullpen. So it's about understanding the concept of perimeter, incorporate strategy development, and identify steps for problem resolution. And you will see that it's a kind of complex activity with different types and different steps. So let's, I never know where to press here. We are just going to see the first video, that is to know what is needed for you to make the activity at school. So you need to have 2 base plates, because that's for 2 children. We also have 1 number sign brick, that's the French one, but your number sign, of course. You have to have number bricks in a bowl and the rest of the toolkit, or it can be classic bricks as the rest of the bricks. So just one word about the number sign. You will see that in the activity we are not going to use it, but what we usually like to do is to put on the top left corner on the base plate the number sign, and children agree that it means that everything that is on the base plate, then if you have this number sign, will be numbers. Because we have seen that it can be tricky and very difficult to have a number sign in front of each number. It can take a lot of time, and of course you won't have enough number signs. But in this particular activity we will use and work on the perimeter of the base plate. That means that we cannot put this number sign. That's why we have chosen to put it on the table, so that they know that we will deal with numbers. So to prepare this activity, that's why what I really want to you, that's this part I would like you to do, is an easy part. You just have to take 10 bricks. It can be regular Lego bricks or Braille bricks, whatever. And with those bricks, you will have to build a bull. And why I wanted you to do that is because in a few moments, maybe in 1 minute, we will stop sharing the screen and we will see what you have done, because I think that it's interesting to see what you have done before we're going to see what 2 students are doing. So Mary, here are your bricks, your 10 bricks.
I'm gonna make noise.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. But we can say that you have 30 seconds to do that, not 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because we won't have that time. So at home that's the same. You really have maybe now we can say 20 minutes. That's like a countdown.
Okay, maybe if people want to share the camera.
Yeah, if you want.
Screen.
Yeah.
Not screen, but
if you want
video.
to. Yeah. So open your camera if you have a bull to propose.
Okay.
You ready?
Shall the 10 bricks be part of the numbers, Mark?
On purpose, we have chosen to put all the number bricks aside. So they could be, we can say, but we not to be a problem for the child. We have chosen not to put number bricks in the part of the building of the bull.
Okay. You cannot see a lot of bull. Oh, yes, I can.
Great, yeah.
Nice.
And yours?
Oh, my.
Is different.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a dog?
Oh no. No, it's my bull.
No, okay.
Oh,
another one. Great. Yeah.
I love them.
Perfect. So we are going to have a look at what two boys have made. They are age 14. And then we will make a comment, and that's the same comment that we can do on what you have done. So that's interesting. Vous allez devoir, dans la boîte que j'ai au milieu, là, vous allez devoir prendre 10 briques, très vite. Et avec ces 10 briques, vous allez devoir construire un taureau. Et vous avez très peu de temps pour faire ça. Allez, c'est parti. Allez Noah, tu continues?
Ouais.
Instruction.
On a le droit d'utiliser que 10 briques?
Oui. Tu as fini Noah ton taureau?
Non, j'ai pas fini, moi.
Je sais pas.
Mais c'est toi qui décides, il n'y a pas de bonne ou de mauvaise réponse.
Moi j'avais fait comme ça, regardez.
Oui, mais vas-y.
Moi j'avais fait comme ça. Je sais pas.
Ouais. Donc celui-là je le mets, ouais. Allez, continue. Là il y en a 4.
Vous me direz, ça ressemble pas trop à un taureau, mais je sais pas.
Mais moi ça me va, pour moi c'est un taureau. Est-ce que pour toi c'est un taureau?
Bah, pas trop quand même.
Pas trop, mais si on dit que c'est un taureau, ça te va?
Ouais, ouais.
Yeah, so that something that is very important. I don't know if you have noticed, but Elias, the big boy, we can say, and Noah, the smaller one, are not very happy of what they have made. Of course, because they are not used to build things with bricks, so that's of course usual. But what is really important here is not, in fact, to build a bull that is looking like a bull. We don't really care. Is that we have to...
Mine was looking like a
A
dog.
dog, yeah. And we have to agree that, in fact, it is a bull. And that's really something it's important. Remember that the activity to be, we can say, good learning activities have to be meaningful. And that's why we have to be okay on what is the meaning. In the previous activity, we have seen bricks can be turtles and 10 bricks can be a bull, and that's fine. And also a thing, I don't know if you have noticed, but that's exactly what you have made at home. Some of you have made like, we can say a 2-dimension drawings, putting the bricks on the base plate, like a drawing. And some of you have made a more like a sculpture and a 3-dimension sculpture. And that's something interesting, I think. I'm not sure because I have not analyzed everything, of course, but what we have seen usually is that totally blind students will construct 3D, putting bricks together like towers, and students that has low vision but can see colors or that can use their low vision will usually use the plate like a drawing board, we can say. I don't know if it's true for everybody, we can say, but that's what we have noticed so far. And then we are going to see an aspect that is important, that's the rule of the game. And we won't have time to play the game, but that will be great to have in mind the rule of the game. So the bull is at the center of the base plate and the activity is starting. Fais le tour avec ta main de la plaque elle-même. Voilà, c'est ça. C'est ça. Celui qui arrivera le plus vite à fermer sa clôture aura gagné.
5.
Alors, vas-y.
3, 4, 5.
Ouais. Donc même consigne, évidemment. Alors, vas-y.
Ah, j'ai pioché un 3.
Prends bien les 3, montre-nous bien que t'en as 3.
Alors j'en ai 3. 1, 2 et 3.
Ok. Toi, il te reste combien d'emplacements?
1, 2.
À toi de tirer dans le bol, et donc toi tu dois avoir un 2 pour finir. Qu'est-ce que tu as obtenu? Vas-y, prends-le. Alors, tu fais...
J'ai pioché un 0.
Alors c'est pas bon. À toi, Noah.
Alors moi j'obtiens, attention, un 6.
Et tu voulais un combien?
Un 2.
Non, tu
Un
m'as dit
4.
Une brique, tu m'as dit que tu pouvais mettre.
Ah oui, un 1.
Ah, donc c'est pas bon. Elias.
Ah, bah, 2.
Super.
Oh.
Alors, prends tes 2 briques et on va voir si ça rentre bien.
5.
Alors, on vérifie si tout rentre bien. Est-ce que tu as réussi à faire tout le
Oui.
tour? Fais tout le tour avec ta main pour être sûr.
Oui, non, j'ai
le long de la plaque,
Oui.
mais pour nous montrer en même temps. C'est tout bon. Parfait. Yeah, okay, so this is what I've said, a kind of a difficult activity because the students have to understand what is a perimeter. So that's why at the beginning of this activity I asked Noah, the smallest one, to show me what is the perimeter of the base plate. And then the children are free to put the bricks not wherever they want because they have to make the perimeter, but in different position. We can imagine that they can put them just in column, for example, but of course it will take more bricks than needed. And if you want the activity to be easier, you can also just select 30 bricks because you need 30 bricks to make the whole perimeter, and so that the child will know exactly what number of bricks they will need. And a word about blendism, we can say, because last week Marie has told you a few words about what is blendism. You know, when a child is moving in we can say a strange way, and that's exactly what is Noah's doing when he is happy with doing something. And here you can see that when he was building the bull and when he was waiting for the other one to play and to see if he was going to take the correct bricks and finish and win the game, he was happy and anxious, and that was not funny, but that was nice to see him having fun, in fact, doing this activity. And also a thing here, you can wonder why this activity is not in the numeracy, Braille numeracy, because it's really about problem solving, how to build a fence with my bricks, where I'm going to position them, how I'm going to position them, how many bricks I need, and all those kind of stuff are really about problem solving, and of course they are numeracy. But we really wanted to split the activity. That main goal is to learn numbers, just numbers, identify what is on each brick representing numbers, and that's it. So that's why we have chosen to put this activity in character and not in numeracy. But of course it is a numeracy activity, and it's really something we can say with all the activities in character, using letters. They can be in literacy, and numbers can be in numeracy. And we are now going to see a tip about how to make a line. Mets ton doigt vers la plaque, voilà, comme ça, fais tout le tour. Est-ce que c'est tout bon? Tu touches à chaque fois les briques?
Oui.
Il n'y a pas d'espace?
Ah si, là.
Super.
Ah, du coup, là aussi, là, c'est là, elle déborde.
Oui, du coup, il faut peut-être la tourner dans l'autre sens pour qu'elle aille pile.
Oui. Voilà.
Non, regarde, il y a un petit trou là.
Oui, je
Là.
sais.
T'as pas le droit?
Ah, voilà.
Ouais, super. Oui, c'était bien. So, the main thing here, and that's for us really something that is important, we have seen that it's not that easy to manipulate and to positionate the bricks correctly. That's why they have to make activities like in manipulations, pre-Braille manipulation. And even if they are, we can say, old, because this boy is 14 years old and is used to work usually with different tactile things, but it is tricky for him to put and place the bricks correctly. So of course at that time he was discovering the bricks and for the first time, and of course he will need to make more simple activities, that is using how to make columns, how to make a row and so on, and then to go to this activity. In fact, he has the cognitive possibility to do the activity correctly, but not the tactile skills. So that's why we really have to go step by step. And just to answer the question about the bull, about the exploration of of the bull. We have not used any kind of different little toys with these specific boys, but that of course something that can be very interesting. But we have known him for a
We did
long
that
time.
with him several years ago.
Yeah, so we knew that for him all the animals, the farm's animals, were something that he knew about, and we have the occasion to see them alive, but also with different toys. But of course that's something important because as the activity has to be meaningful, if it is not meaningful for the child, you can of course use those little toys to explain what is important. And yeah, just a few words about possible variation. Of course, you can suggest different types of construction if you don't want to work on the perimeter. You can ask them to make a two-story wall, for example, or just a rectangle around the bull, or just a square, a small square around the bull. So they have to find, that's also problem solving. They have to find the better solution to use the less brick as possible and to win the game the quickest. And yeah, we will go to the other slide because that's something that is also about problem solving, and it's important, is at the end of the game, you know, the game has 6 different parts, that the 6th part about at the end to complete the feast, the first. No.
The fence.
To complete the fence first. The winner will be this one. And at the end, you can have just one empty space, or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. But it is very, very difficult to see how many bricks you will need. So that's why I can advise you to put just the correct number of bricks so that I know if I have in my ball just 4 bricks, I know that I need to pick a 4 to be able to win the game. Because the rule is that you have at the end to have the exact number of bricks. If you have 1 empty space and you take a 2, number 2, you have to give turn to the other one. And just a word, not even a word about that, that's, you know, that an activity has to work on holistic skills, and this one is very good, and we have all the aspect of that. But I would like just to focus on the other part, is that about characteristic of playful learning experiences. As we have already seen 2 weeks ago, the activity has to have those 5 characteristics, and it's just here to see if the 5 characteristics were there or not. So joyful, I think that you're convinced of that. In fact, we are sure that Noah had fun and playing this game. As it is a game, and really like a board game, it is socially interactive because you have to wait for the other to play. You have to think that the other is not going to win, but you have to respect him even if he will win. So that's something that is important in that game. That's extremely actively engaging because you have to pick in a ball a number. You have to pick the bricks in the box. You have to place them on the base plate and so on. So really, you cannot stop moving during this activity. Iterative, of course, in this one, what you have seen on the video, it was not iterative because they have made it just once, but that's really the kind of activity that you can practice more and more and find the best strategy to be able to win. If of course the aim is not to make the perimeter of the base plate. And the last point is about meaningful, and as we have already seen, it's a bull. It can be dangerous, so you have to build a fence around it, and that's the story of this bullpen.
Thank you for your thank you. And please don't hesitate. And if you try them with kids, it will be lovely for us to have a video or photo of whatever you want. You can share them on Facebook, of course, that's really great. And if you don't want to be on Facebook, you can also email us. You can write to us through the website legobraillebricks.com. You have a contact button, and you can send us ideas, comments, experience. If you've tested one activity and you want to add something, to correct something else, whatever, just feel free to do it. We will be really happy to receive any comments and news and experience and best practice. We have a question.
And we have a question. The first one, where it is? It is about the text of those activity will come with the kits, and the answer is no, because the kit is really just the box and the bricks with the base plate.
Yeah.
And then you will have access to all the text of those activities directly on the website, that is legobraillebricks.com. And you can download all the 90 activities. There are 90 activities. It will have been too difficult, too heavy, we can say, to print them and put them in the kit. So that's why they are accessible only via the website. And also the aim is to add year after year different activities. So that's why it's better to have it in a digital aspect.
But you're free to go on the website to look for them in the activities section and to print them if you want. You have a download button in DocX, so you can do whatever you want with the bricks. We have a question about the bullpen activity. If a child doesn't know yet the numbers, I think you can play with a die, dice. You can roll it and you have a number, and then it's easier, I think, to read the roll of a dice than the numbers in Braille. So that can be one suggestion.
Yeah, and also another suggestion that's in the possible variation, you can use only small numbers. For example, if you have seen number 1, 2, 3, you can use only bricks with number 1, 2, and 3. And they have to pick and just to deal with those numbers.
Yeah.
And you can add more and more numbers when they know them.
Always try to simplify. That's the same for musical letters. It can be great if it is with a child starting to learn Braille. You can use the letters which are the more easy to learn, like A, B, C, L, and K, and then you go to more difficult letters like the H, the D, and so on. So just start with simple things. And then we have a question about number signs. So of course we introduce number sign very quickly with children. As Mark said, in many games you place them on the top left corner of the base plate to indicate that everything on the base plate will be numbers. So that's really important to introduce it. It is not exactly the same. It depends on languages. So yeah, that's great to start with that. And we have another question about university. In fact, in some countries, the Lego Braille bricks are introduced in universities, and we hope that it can be something interesting. We know that it can be something interesting in the teachers, the TVI trainings, for them, for the pre-Braille. So that's what the French Association is going to do with the national education, but in some other countries also. I can see also comment about remote teaching. That's something not so easy to do right now, and that's why we also encourage teachers but parents to go to the website. We know it is a teaching tool, but here a day it is difficult, and sometimes we cannot go directly to the children, so you need the parents to be involved in the activity. So that's also why we try to make very simple activities, and even if you don't know anything about teaching Braille, you can go on the website, you can read the advice on the facilitation section, and we hope that it's the activities are easy to understand and to practice for the children, but also for the helping parents.
Yeah.
So that's
So
great.
it's time to say goodbye and hope to see all of you tomorrow.
Have a good day, night, evening. It depends where you are. I'm not sure we have New Zealand today. We had some people last week, Thank you. Thank you so much for all your thank you too.
That's funny. You thanks for the thank
Yes.
you.
Merci.
Okay. Yeah.
And have a good evening and see you tomorrow.
See you. Bye.